Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In this video, I am going to show you how to use the scanning feature in Thinkorswim to scan the market for securities that satisfy your trading strategy. So the example I'm going to use is the trading strategy that I back tested in one of my previous videos, which is crossing above the 20 exponential moving average. So what I'm going to scan for is, first of all, crossing above the 20 exponential moving average. Then I'm going to further reduce the number of securities that I'm looking at by making sure that the securities that I'm considering are highly liquid, right? So there's no liquidity issues, which means I want to look for stocks that have a high volume. Then I want to further reduce that number by only looking at stocks within a certain price range, because if I want to buy an option, then I don't want the option that expires, let's say maybe next week, to cost me a couple $1,000s if the stock price is too high, versus an option that expires next week for a stock in, let's say, the $100 to $200 range, which may only cost me $100 to $200 for a contract, right? And then I'm going to show you how you can search only the space of stocks that is optionable, right? So with that said, that's what we're going to look at, and we're going to get started. So first thing we're going to do is click scan, and right up front we are in all optional, but these are the categories, and by default you might have all symbols or maybe all stocks, but all symbols is going to be the largest collection of securities you can possibly search in. This is going to be everything. Every symbol that you can come in here and put something in, you're going to search that, right? So I'll show you the difference once we finish the scan, and you can see how many securities we have that are optionable. I'll go ahead and change this to all symbols at that point, and then you can see how many more choices there are. So real quick, we have all the following, none of the following, and any of the following. So all of the following is like an AND statement, A-N-D. This means that condition 1 and condition 2 and condition 3 and so on need to be satisfied in order for it to be put into our search result list. If you come down to any of the following, this means this is like an OR statement, O-R. Condition 1 or condition 2 or condition 3 and so on. So you only need one of the conditions to be satisfied. You could satisfy all of them, but only one needs to be satisfied in order for this to trigger a security to show up in your search results. None of the following would be something like, we don't want any stocks with an RSI greater than 40. Well, then you come in here and you put RSI greater than 40. So that's not what we're doing here. Today we're going to focus on all the following, because we want to meet all of these criteria that we've selected, and we want to reduce down the total number of securities that we're looking at, so we don't have to go search through all these different stock symbols, right? That's the whole point of creating a scan or a filter, so you can reduce your workload by having the computer do all the legwork for you, right? So we want to find stocks that are crossing over the 20 exponential moving average, and I'm going to use Heikin-Ashi candles, which means that we're going to use what's called open, high, low, close for, and I'm going to show you that right now. So we go to add filter, and we're going to do stock, and then we're going to come over here. Nope, sorry, that's going to be the second one we look at. Add filter, study. We're going to come over here to ADX crossover, click the arrow to make the drop down, come down to custom, and then we get this scanner custom filter, right? So we're going to come in here to edit, and then we're going to do our study over here crosses above a value or something over here. So what we want is the price. We want the price to cross over. Now, like I said, we're going to do open, high, low, close for, since that is what the closing price is for the Heikin-Ashi candle, right? So if you want to do a regular candlestick, you just use this close right here. If you want to do Heikin-Ashi, then you're going to use open, high, low, close for, okay? Now leave these things alone. Don't mess with these until you start getting more in depth with the scanner. But essentially, if you start messing with these and then you change the time frame over here, here, let me show you. If you change this to, let's say, weeks or 5 minutes, and you have a time frame, a specific time frame built in to this, right? So price, open, high, low, close, 4. So if I change it here to, let's say, 5 minutes, and I have days up here, it's going to create a conflict, right? So just don't mess with this until you get comfortable using the scanner. So we want the open, high, low, close, 4 value, which is the close of the Heikin Ashi, to cross above, and we want the moving average exponential. So if I did that too fast, we're going to do condition, study, and then we're just going to type in MOVAVG moving average exponential. Now we want the 20, so we're going to change the length to 20, and then we're done. All we have to do is hit save, and then it creates this custom study. This is kind of just like the way that you would create the back testing strategy in the other video, right? So this is just like a selection tool that automatically creates the code for you and puts it in. So we hit OK, and here we go. We're set up. Now, let's go ahead and scan all optionable and see how many returns we get. So we have 791. Now let's see how many we get in all symbols. So we go from 791 to, it's already taking longer, maybe a couple thousand, 13,000. So there you go. We went from 791 choices to look at to 13,329. I personally want less, right? So we go back to all optionable. Okay, now we are going to add the additional filters I described for, we want high volume, so we want liquidity. Now, so the way we're going to do that is we're going to add filter, stock, come over here to this drop down, and we're going to go down to volume. And we want high volume, so we're just going to drag this over. Now, if you have a number, you can enter a number in here, you can enter a number in here. But I'm just going to drag it over and get the total number of matches somewhere down below 1,000, you know. And then if we want to further reduce it, reduce this window by requiring more liquidity, more volume, we can do that later on if we want to, okay? So now I'm going to scan this again just to show you how it's reducing the number of securities in your search results. So we're going to hit scan again. So we went from 791 down to 118. That's pretty good. Okay. So since I want to do options, I don't want options, you know, I don't want something here in this price range of a stock because it's going to require the contract to cost more. I want cheaper options contracts, right? So I'm going to further reduce this from 118. I'm going to add another filter for stock, and it's going to be the price. Now let's use the ask price, since we know for a fact that you can acquire the stock for the price at the ask, right? So you know you can get it for that price. So I'm going to reduce this to, let's say, and don't forget, you're scanning the penny stock world as well. So that's why you have all these down here. But let's do like, I don't know, let's do $90. And let's take it out to 200. All right, so we're going to go from 118. Let's see where this takes us. Down to 20. Okay, cool. I mean, if we want, we can reduce the volume a little more. Maybe we don't want to have to look at 20 stocks. Let's reduce the volume down to, let's say, under 700 matches for volume. So there's under 700. Scan again. Let's see where we get to from 20 right here. Now we're down to 8. I like this. We can do 8 matches. That's cool. So then I'm going to go ahead and save this. Save as a watch list. And I'm going to call it Damn, I'm off today. 2 June 2024 daily. Now we're going to see that I already have this made because I've tried to make this video like 3 times now. And apparently my voice gets too loud for my microphone and it sounds like crap. So I've had to remake this video multiple times just so I can make the audio sound better. So yeah, it is what it. See, I already have it made. So let's just call it just regular 2 June 2024. So it saved those stocks to a watch list. Now we go to the chart. The reason why I told you that is because when we come in here, we click on the drop down and we go to personal and we go to default and we come down to personal again. You're going to see I already have it made. And that's because I already made the video. It's just I'm trying to get the audio better. So if this still sounds like crap, I apologize. I'm working on it. So we're going to go to the one we just made here. Okay. And these are the stocks in the watch list we just made from this scan that we just did. Right? So all of these stocks are in that watch list. Now let's go over here and let's look at them. All right. So the first one, open, high, low, close. Now the blue is my 20 exponential moving average. This reddish one, is that red or pink? It's red. Is my 9 exponential moving average. And FYI, in case you're curious, I don't think I'm cool with these. These are blue light blocking glasses. They help prevent migraines and eye strain when staring at screens all day. So anyways, blue is 20 exponential moving average. As you can see, we crossed above it and closed above it. So this piece right here up top, this is the close of the Heikin Ashi. This is the OHLC4 value, right? So that's what we're looking for. Okay, AGG, good. Chevron, good. Lennar, good. Just barely, but it satisfies. LQD, good. Otis, good. PLD, good. SRPT, good. You notice some of these have high volume right here on this very last day. I'll talk about that in a second. Z scalar, good. Okay. Now the thing I wanted to point out about this high volume day is that you shouldn't take these stocks that show up as this being a signal for you to just blindly buy into them, right? So what happened on Friday, which was the close of the month, and I didn't even know this was happening, but I was listening to CNBC through Thinkorswim, and they were talking about the end of day run on the indices because of the rebalancing. Apparently, the big investment firms and whoever else, they rebalance their books at the end of the month, and it triggers some buying and selling pressure. So they're changing their selections, their allocations, maybe all these things, and it triggers a buying frenzy. I'll show you on the SPY. So AGG, volume not so much. CVX had a little bit higher than normal volume, but not unheard of. Now you might be thinking, oh man, this volume just popped. So like maybe something's happening. Well, if all it is rebalancing and reallocating what they're doing, this may be a one-off event. So that's why I say these are not signals. This is just to help you reduce your research time. Lennar, boom. And Lennar is a home builder, I believe. Like Lennar Homes, LQD. I don't even know what this is. This could be invertibles, whatever. It's a bond. Maybe it inverts. It trades inversely with the bond. Whatever. I don't care. All I care about is that it satisfied the thing, right? And I can buy an option in it. And then Otis, look at that. Look at that volume, right? So again, this volume may be throwing off the volume in our scan, right? So some of these things may only have been on this list because of the volume on that day. So just keep that in mind. That's why I say these are not buy signals. These are just to help you reduce your research load, your due diligence, as people on the forums like to say. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research. Look at that volume. Crazy. Volume. Crazy. Now this is the daily chart too. ZS volume. Crazy. And let me show you what happened with the SPY. Because I was watching it. I was like, what's going on? This is ridiculous. So you notice the SPY on Heikin Ashi. This is a potential reversal for Heikin Ashi. And the SPY's volume was up a little bit compared to normal, but it was above average, and it's not out of place. You know, for the other ones, it's somewhat out of place, right? Because look at this. That's insane for that particular security, especially for this one, right? So that's why I say keep it in mind. All right, so I'm going to show you what happened at the end of the day on the SPY really quick. Look at this. Buying pressure. Let's switch over to regular candles since a lot of people aren't familiar with Heikin Ashi. This was 20 minutes of buying pressure. And look at the 1 minute, right? Like this is just stairway to profits. If you're in long on a call, maybe, or maybe you sold a put, if you sold short a put or whatever, you could really make some money off of this. It's just straight up almost, right? So now if this is what they were talking about. Oh God, why does it keep doing that? This is what they were talking about by rebalancing. They would look. It was the end of the day, end of the trading day, and they're like, "Yeah, there's a lot of rebalancing. I'm going to take as positive, but it's probably just rebalancing." So blah blah blah. So just keep that in mind. If you see like crazy volume on a stock that you scanned for, and you can't find anything that triggered that volume, then try and figure out what happened in the market overall. Like, did some event happen? Is it the end of a major futures contract? Is it the end of some type of huge, maybe quarterly options contract? Is there some big thing mechanism happening in the market that triggered this buying frenzy? This could be pure buying. It could be a little short squeeze. Who knows? But it kind of stopped at the end of the day. So, there's no telling, right? So just make sure you do your own research and don't take these as just straight buy signals. So let's go ahead and convert back to Heiken Ashi since that's what we scanned on. All right, so the last thing I wanted to show you is the reason why I chose the stock price to be in that smaller range, okay? So if we come over here let's go back to our scan. Let's look at these values for the prices. So let's look at Chevron. Let's go look at Chevron. So CVX. Okay. Now let's say I wanted to buy an option, come to trade. Okay. So if I want to buy an option, just one contract that expires next week when the market opens, I'll buy this. It expires next week. This right here, so you multiply by 100. This is going to be $180. That's how much it's going to cost you if you get it this price, plus your 65-cent contract fee or whatever your fees are. And that's how much it's going to cost you for one contract, right below the money expiring at the end of next week. Now let's go look at NVIDIA. It's just the one that came to the top of my head. Now that price is almost 10 times more, right? And the option is $2,625. So this goes from $180 to $2,625. So let's say you're learning to do options, you don't want to jump in with a $2,625 price tag for a single contract, at least in my opinion. So I would recommend starting with the lower priced options and figure out what's happening here, right? Because first of all, if you get exercised and you have to buy, if you can barely afford the contract at $2,625, you're going to have an issue when you get exercised, for a stock that's $1,160. So try buying 100 shares of those if you can barely afford the stock, the option price. Anyways, that's a small rant. So my point is, that's why I chose to reduce the price range on the stocks. And the volume is just a liquidity thing. It's something I learned a long time ago when I thought I was going to become a millionaire overnight trading penny stocks. You want things with liquidity, because let's say you get into something at a good price, but if you can't sell it, right, as soon as you get in, the bid drops lower and it's never moving and there's no liquidity, you can't get out of it. So you want high liquidity stocks, right? So anyways, what we did was we created this study right here. I can move this to a week. I can move it to whatever I want because I didn't explicitly put a time frame inside the code here. And then I reduced that number of stocks by also requiring a high volume and also reducing the share price and putting a window on it. Now we have 8. Let's look at all symbols. So we go from 8 to a couple thousand. Oh, only 8. So maybe those other things don't have either this volume or this price, and maybe that's what throws it off. So that didn't really matter there, but sometimes it could, depending on what types of metrics you want to use to reduce the number of stocks that show up in your search results. So keep that in mind. If you put all your metrics in here and you still have like a couple hundred, try coming over here and looking in, all optionable, maybe all NYSE, maybe all NASDAQ, maybe, I don't know, all funds. I don't know if you want to do options on funds, but whatever. Do your own stuff. And we're not going to get into intersect with or exclude because that's just getting too complicated for our first video. So I hope this was helpful. I hope it helps reduce your research time if you're trying to trade off of the chart setups. If you have questions about it, leave it in the comments. If you want me to build a scan for a different type of strategy, let me know. I will build a scan and make a video on showing you how to do that. And also can test a different type of strategy. I know a few people have been asking me to test VWAP, but I'm not familiar with VWAP. So if you want to kind of maybe give me some information about what that strategy aims to do, like buying when it crosses above or below or whatever, let me know in the comments. I'll go ahead and build a strategy for that. But I need you to explain to me a little more other than, well, why don't you just test for VWAP? That means nothing to me. Explain it to me, and then I'll make a video for it. So again, if you want me to build a scanner for VWAP, you need to tell me, like, what do you want the price to do in relation to VWAP? Or what do you want, this moving average, does it cross the VWAP? Does it go below? Like, you need to give me a little more information other than just test this, test that. You need to be specific because I have to put specifics into the system, right? I can't just tell it, oh, hey, do this, and then it's going to automatically assume all the right stuff. So no, you have to be very specific. So let me know what you want, and I'll work on getting those videos out. So again, I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you soon. And good luck in the markets.